Bag, I want the bag. Work my way from a garden to a track. Flip it from a track to a plot full of acres. Do it for the farmers and producers and the makers. What we even here for? Occasionally I ask it. I know it's more than struggling, anticipating the casket. Reap what we sow, trying to fill up my basket. Life's a plantation, I self-law and master. Over the plot, I've been granted on this planet. Now it's slanted, cause the chosen been supplanted. But if you overstand it, it was spoken. Fractured, but we ain't broken. Even though some would rather play the role of token, we growing. Black through the essence of a presence. We carry the blood of gods, we carry the mind of peasants. Rich black gardens, future look more like Eden. Multiply seeds like the seed banks in Sweden. Rep my planners on plan according to season. B1 code, switching it up is treason. Black power, family what we eat. Either we get fed or we feed. B1AG.
What is growing on? What is growing on? What is growing on? Welcome back to the B1AG Daily Bread Podcast. I'm John Henry Harris. We also have Farmer Brown DMC. Here at B1AG, we focus on Black agriculture as it pertains to agricultural production, education, marketing, health, food, nutrition, and economics, all for the Black family and the Black community. It's getting weird, y'all. It's getting weird, y'all. It is getting weird, y'all. Now, we all know about the mandates that are coming down, and we also know that food is medicine. You know, plants do a lot for us. They provide the food and the oxygen we breathe, and also they help us, with their barks, grasses, roots, and the herbs. They literally become medicine. But now scientists are taking things down to the nano level and are studying ways of using leafy greens to both manufacture and deliver vaccines. So that's what today's story we're going to talk about are the JAB meals next. They're getting sneaky, y'all. They could actually sneak this into our food. Would they take it to that level? And interestingly enough, these studies have been going on for a while, and we will dive deep into that. Like, share. Let's have a big discussion today with the family. We need to be aware of what's going on with our food. Our food system is changing and challenged, and we need to be aware. The great Frederick Douglass let us know that food can be used as a weapon of war. And in today's wars, we need to be aware of how food can be compromised. Farmer Brown, what say you?
First, I just like to say peace to the B1 family. I hope everybody's doing well today. What you always tell me, bro, reading is fundamental. I want the bag. And the bag is in ag science. They tell us to follow the money. We're playing a kindergarten game of connect the dots here. Absolutely, food is medicine. So today, all this does here when we have this B1AG conversation, our ultimate goal is to get the melanated family to not only agree with the fact that food is important, but also for each of us to empower ourselves to at least learn how to grow food, at least learn the process of how food is grown, and where we're supposed to have the spirit of discernment and discern what's healthy and what's not healthy. And so for the sake of algorithms, we Iwe Afhe Ute eBay Erive Ashis K on Alhe Iwe Ixpe about the abs J. So with that said, man, I look forward to deep diving into this conversation. It's getting strange.
It really is. What they're trying to do, or what they're studying, is they're uniquely trying to change the infrastructures of these green leafy plants to make edible vaccine bays. edible vaccine vase. Now, with their goal or their reasoning behind this is that that way they can deliver these vaccine bays without specialized facilities or an expensive infrastructure like cold chain shipping and storage, the way they have to do conventional mRNA. This is a quote coming directly from a scientist, Dr. Geraldo. What we're doing in this research is basically creating something that can be as simple as applying foliar spray to the surface of a leafy green like lettuce or spinach, and then eating it in your salad, which could be hugely enabling. According to the World Health Organization, less than 1% of the world's C19 doses have been administered to people in low-income countries. More than 75% have gone into the arms of just 10 high and upper middle class income nations. So they're trying to expand the reach of everything. Now, Dr. Geraldo specializes in plant nanobiotechnology, making plants more efficient using nanomaterials to feed a growing planet. This sounds new, sounds space age, but as Farmer Brown will go into, this is actually something they've been studying for quite some time now.
It makes me think of the ancestor Malcolm X, the Ballad of the Bullet. In this situation, we're talking about the syringe or the salad bar. We're not here to give any sort of medical information or to try to steer anybody's opinion or decisions, that apply to your household. But I think here at B1AG, we're here to talk about food production. And I think this is definitely a conversation that should be had in our households, in our groups, in our cliques, in our circles about, what if things go wrong? What if things go great? Once again, this is a call to action. We really need to be involved in not just ag production, but ag science. The soil and green. I think in this conversation, a lot of what's understood doesn't need to be explained. But like bro was saying, and so this isn't new. It didn't just come out of nowhere. This didn't just come as a result of what we see going on right now. And so on March 27th, 1998, and this is at USC, University of Southern California, in a corner of USC's Institute of Genetic Medicine, green tobacco plants with broad, soft leaves sprout under special ultraviolet lights. In a sterilized petri dish next door, a tiny tuber, an infant potato. Who's supplying these potatoes at McDonald's for the fries? The largest farm landowner, but let me not digress, grows from a single alfalfa-like stem. Though they may seem out of place at a biomedical research facility, plants like these may one day be used as edible axainzve for dairy cows or as a new way to help people with multiple sclerosis. The plants belong to Agravax, Inc., a small biotechnology company that is sprouted on the health sciences campus. Agravax president and lead scientist Lisa Welter earned her PhD in microbiology at the USC School of Medicine before moving into the biotech business. B1AG, I want the bag. In 1995, Welter and her father, who was also a scientist, founded Agravax to develop plants that would make and deliver axainzve for agricultural animals. For the last few years, the company has leased lab space from the IGM, but an agreement began in November and only recently finalized. Agravax has given USC shares of stock, follow the bag, shares of stock in exchange for use of a portion of the IGM facility. Quote, it's beneficial to both parties because USC will earn profit as a shareholder in any products that Agravax develops. It also shows USC's commitment to fostering a collaborative environment with the biotech industry, Welter said, end quote. Once again, we we've had a couple of warnings about content that we've been discussing on this platform, and so in respect to the platform, because this has definitely been a blessing for us to get this message out, we're going to be conscientious about how we talk about this. But family, once again, in making this point of why it's important for us not only to be in these laboratories at these research facilities, these universities, our backyards, our balconies are the perfect research facilities to learn how to produce food. Uh, we know that there's 70% of the melanated population right now that is still skeptical. I said skeptical, skeptical about this treatment for this global pandemic. We see people like Nicki Minaj that just basically raise questions, the type of scrutiny that can bring on an individual just simply asking questions. What does the elder Nellie Fuller say? You understand, you solve problems by asking questions. And so when we find ourselves in a situation where asking questions becomes criminalized or demonized, I think this is something you can ask yourself within your mind. Okay, am I cool with whatever may come on my in the grocery store? This goes deep. We talk about starting your garden, and a lot of times we get questions about, well, how do I discern which seeds? And so this is definitely going to affect the type of seeds that are available to you. I'm curious, and so the FDA would be the agency that allows certain seeds to be sold on the market. I will also say that this is in research phase. And so, this isn't to get everybody up in arms and worried per se, more so than just kind of give a heads up. The other day we were talking about cows, they're potty training cows to figure out ways to minimize methane emissions, from their farts and their flagellants and their urine. But in the same vein, the same mindset of scientists are saying, okay, well, if we know that there's this hesitation and maybe they just don't like the needle, maybe they'll eat it in their salad. We know spinach is very healthy. We know lettuce is very healthy. Leafy greens, these are agricultural gardening vegetables that can be grown up to 25 days. This is very important when we think about food security in especially, condensed areas for people wanting to grow food maybe on their balcony or in their backyard. And so these are a solution. So to me, it's a great paradox. Like, hey, this right here is a great solution for our skepticism. And at the same time, it's medicinal in the sense that, it prevents certain health issues. But at the same time, as we have this conversation, we see this was going on in 1995, 98. Your president was working on crime bills at this time. What I can tell you about, working these conference circuits, people talk. Oh, you got this going on at your research facility? Oh, great. Well, I got this going on. Well, hey, I'm invested in this company. Oh, this is a startup company. And when we talk about this 2030 agenda from the United Nations, when we talk about this concept that the melanated family is projected to be at zero wealth by 2050, people think long term. So here at B1AG, we like to be solution based, and it's just really trying to have this conversation so we can think long term. There's obviously financial strategies that we need to incorporate into, surpassing this projected zero wealth of the melanated community. But food production, not just production, but the science of how this food is produced. Because I don't know if you've heard us talk about ag science, ag tech. This is every bit ag tech. I'm not going to say it's bad. I'm not going to say it's good. I'm going to say that this is an area of human activity that we need to be involved in. It will be great if our children are able to go into the schools and get degrees. But even if you don't have the money, the time, or the trust to go to these schools to get the degrees, being able to study these dynamics is very important and very valuable within the melanated community. And other people are thinking about it. It's something that we need to think about.
On the banner below, these are some areas where our students, we need our students. Agricultural biotechnology, human environmental science, agricultural engineering, agricultural economics. And now there's a program called Manners, Minorities in Agricultural, Natural Resources, in other related sciences. They find the money for agricultural students to go to school. It's a great program. I was a part of it as an agricultural economics student at the University of Kentucky. It's a great, great program. We have also done a story with Dr. Antamia Farrell. If you can go back in our archives and find it, it's a great story, a lot of great information. This is the company. This is the Manners. I encourage you, if you do have high school or college bound students, to look up this organization. And like the intro, we want the bag. Manners helps you find that bag to get educated. You know, I was a agricultural economics student uh, as a non-traditional student. You know, I was a lot older than a lot of my counterparts, but they found that money for me, and I was actually getting paid to go to school. So they will help you. It's a great organization. It's a professional development organization. They help put their students in a position to win. But y'all, getting back to the story, you know, when we were kids, you know, you might have, you know, all medicines, they don't necessarily taste good. So I know my mother, she might put it in like some orange juice, or, you know, maybe mix it in with my oatmeal. You know what I'm saying? Just to make sure that I take what I need to help me to get healthier or better. But this is not the same. It's a situation where you could be unknowingly, unwittingly taking something that you're against. Not necessarily, you know, if your parents are giving you this, it's under this something, they're giving you this in love, they're giving you this because they care about you, they want to make sure you're straight. These people don't necessarily have that connection with you, and they could actually slip this into our food system, which is kind of a scary thought. Not saying they are, not saying they will, but just examining the possibility, just the actual possibility, and them having the means to do so is worthy of a discussion, is worthy of this discussion.
Having the means and uncontested opinions, and having the means and and so when you asked that question, I was up late last night. I'm glad you asked that, uh, Sister Wildflower. So I was thinking of what are the key points when we think about all of these possibilities affecting our food security. And so it is possible that somebody could be spraying something when we're talking about nanotechnology that could affect our crops. Well, you know, what is the agricultural solution? And so it will be your high tunnels or your low tunnels. Absolutely, you know, planting in your backyard, but like the sister said, so what if things are being sprayed in the air, you know, aerosol? Because I've heard conversations about nanoparticles, high tunnels, caterpillar tunnels. What are these? These are controlled environments. And so even if you're in a colder area where it's not as warm, you can control your environment within one of these operations. You could minimize, you know, nothing's going to be 100%, but you can minimize whatever aerosol impediments might affect your operation. At the same time, you can also grow inside. There, especially when we're talking about leafy greens, microgreens, different herbs, you can grow them inside of your home, inside of your apartment, inside of your duplex, inside of your townhouse. On general, they would need about 12 hours of natural sunlight, uh, if possible. If not, they would need unnatural light. And these are lamps. Some of my cats growing corn, you understand the thing, but it's the same concept growing vegetables. And so there are some very specific things we need to think about. Okay, what if, and like I said, this is in research phase. And so it's not like you're going to go to the grocery store tomorrow and then, you know, half of your selection of healthy food has been tampered with. But we see this coming down the road. And so this is also a call to action to those that have been growing to meet you a local farmer, meet you a black farmer that has seeds. We really need to look at seed banks. We really want to preserve heirloom seeds, non-GMO seeds. We don't want hybrid seeds. We want heirloom. Heirloom basically, this is originally what it, the Most High made it, and it's been preserved. And so store them. Maybe you're not going to necessarily plant them this year, but just in case something comes down the road, we don't want to find ourselves in a position where we have no choice. Also, going back to what the sister was asking about, how do you protect it from contaminants? This is also, when I think about the water system being contaminated, catchment systems. We know there's condensation. We know there's dew. I would encourage the family. I don't think none of the agricultural sites online are being flagged for misinformation, but there's ways to catch some of the moisture out of the atmosphere and retain it to water your plants. And once again, when we're talking about ag science, if you can get one of these young children to understand this basic concept early, and you get them on code of B1, I'm learning everything I'm learning to serve my community, helping those that need the most constructive help. Then by the time they get to a college, they get an opportunity to get an 1890 scholarship to attend a HBCU, land grant university. They get an opportunity to join Manners. Then they're already on code knowing, okay, all of these opportunities that's going to come to me, I'm going to seize upon it, knowing that I'm going to apply this information and knowledge to my community that's going to be affected. Does this mean you can't? I haven't heard of them, but I will definitely look that up. As long as it's heirloom, the key word, brand is kind of arbitrary, because some of these companies, they'll literally source their seeds from the same location and just have different labeling on the package. But when you see the word heirloom, that's gold. That's agricultural gold. And dealing with what we're talking about right now, it's going to be agricultural diamonds. Because like I said, one of the worst things that can happen is we have this conversation too late and we have no choice. Another thing I was thinking about in this conversation, we don't want to be liabilities to anybody. We think about it's a large percentage of the melanated community are in condensed areas. We're in apartments, we're in cities, we're in hoods. We definitely need partnerships with rural landowners, rural farmers. If not partnership, some sort of amiable relationship. You also don't want to be a liability to nobody. You don't want to constantly call somebody up, hey, I need. You want to have an asset to offer. And so that's one of the reasons why we really stress learning how to grow your own food, learning how to garden, learning all of these different details to go within producing. Maybe I'm not the most scientifically inclined person. We saw Walker Flock out there. he was kind of struggling with his tiller. But saying that to say, learning certain practices that can be bartered in a situation where you're kind of left out of the fiat economy. This isn't a chicken little thing, but it's like, we really have to be codified and very specific about what are needed elements of getting us to the next day and thriving. Many of us don't have the luxury of having laboratories, these elaborate laboratories with petri dishes and flasks and beakers. But we do have some sort of space where we live in. And so saying that to say, the sooner we can understand something, the sooner that we just get that intrinsic knowledge of how he was trying. But that's what it's all about. I smile about it, but that's what it's all about. I respect that man struggling with that tiller more than somebody laughing at him who hadn't even put their prints in the mud, right? Because he's that much closer to knowing how to produce. Just in case he goes to his ATM and it doesn't work, because your president right now is saying, "Oh, we want access to every bit of money that these people are earning." You got cash apps, you got crypto. We want access to all of it, and so we're not here to get into conspiracy theory, but it is very possible when you study China's social credit system. These things are already in place, and so it's not like it's a make-believe concept. These things already exist. And depending on who you listen to, some people say that China owns us. And if I own something, then guess what I'm going to do? Just like the Roman Empire, when in Rome, you're going to do as the Romans do. If this becomes China West, guess what you're going to do? You're going to do as the Chinese do. And so it's not to scare, more so than just really understanding the space that we find ourselves in right now and being prepared for whatever. Birdman, flying any weather. Okay, y'all are using ag tech to implement whatever strategy you got going on. Okay, boom, we got codified and we realized, okay, we done protesting. We know that our picket signs aren't about to address, contaminated leafy greens. And so we're going to make sure it's a part of our culture to make sure at least some of our young people, some of us non-traditional people. I turned 41 today, non-traditional, right? I've learned more in the last 10 years of my life than, hip hop was good. I loved hip hop. I love touring. I love, being out in the street like that. But, it comes to a point you really got to look at now, what can I offer to a situation outside of just talking, outside of just, hey, I got this information. Right now, I can tell. I can tell with the best of them. Hand tiller, electric tiller, whatever. I know how to grow. I know how to amend soil. I know how to prep gardens. I know how to do urban gardens, container gardens, straw bale gardens, barrel gardens. There's many things I don't. Appreciate it. There's many things I don't know. But once again, when I wake up every morning, when we think about, thank you, when we think about what Nellie Fuller says, every day we should be waking up thinking about, now, what is the absolute best thing I can do with this space and time that I have right now? And right now, what we're pleading to the melanated family, we got to get black to the garden. We got to get black to the garden because somebody has gone out of their way to make sure this isn't an area of human activity that we focus on. And I know, I don't think, I don't wish, I don't hope, I know to the degree that the melanated family decides that, you know what, this is us. I got this. I don't need to call nobody and ask, hey, you want to do this? I don't need to look at somebody else, what they got going on, to be inspired. I'm inspired internally to figure out my niche within the food system, getting the product from seed to table. This story today, what this is telling us is we got to even focus on the seeds. Originally, we were just talking about, get some seeds and plant them and learn how to grow. But now we got to focus on the maintaining the health of the seeds. Let's be honest, family. We were originally designed to be the stewards of this planet. I put y'all in Eden because y'all are supposed to protect it. Eden has been invaded. We see that invading force. Things are kind of chaotic, but this is our perfect time right now. We're in our finest hour right now. The melanated family has never been more influential on global activity. When we think about the power of hip hop, when we think about the power of fashion, we think about just our swag, our spice that we add to this smorgasbord of living things. When you think about that, we have every opportunity to change what this food system looks like.
Now, family, I know we talked about high tunnels, and I would like to show you just what a high tunnel looks like. Now, a caterpillar tunnel is just a smaller version, like a mini version of a high tunnel. But it's nothing very scientific. It's a tunnel. It's literally a tunnel. Up under that plastic wrap, with the bone structure of that plastic wrap being wood or PVC pipe, up under that, that's where you'll grow. It creates its own environment. So this way you can grow in extremely hot weather, even in extremely cold weather. Or like we were talking about aerosols or, things in the air. This will help you create a safe environment to grow. It's literally just a tunnel. It's a greenhouse. The same concept as a greenhouse.
An $8 million one in Sweden. He has an $8 million seed bank in Sweden and 240,000 plus acres in North America of prime Aboriginal land. When we think about this concept of, okay, y'all don't want to take the syringe, I'll give you the salad. Right now, Bill Gates actually he supplies the fries, carrots, and tomatoes for McDonald's. I saw a brother on here earlier talking about that movie Soylent Green. See, I don't want I don't want to get into conspiracy theory, but right now the conspiracy theorists are winning in 2020 and 2021. If I'm just to be honest, from my modest perspective, saying that to say this is all the reason in the world why we have to be proactive. I think we've really passed the 30 cents, $30. That's more than somebody with $1 million in the bank that hadn't stored one seed. Because I can go to that bank and then the teller be like, "Oh, well, you ain't got it. You can't get it." But you can go to your seed packet. You can go to your seed bank and put something in the ground that you can eat. Now, who has more wealth in that situation? Well, coming on these times, family. Uh, like I said, I don't, and I'm being very honest. I don't see this as a horrible thing. I see this as a weightlifter that went to the weight room. We see the resistance. We see the vitriol towards the melanated family. I know we watched what happened down there at the border with Haiti. There's a lot of fishy things going on, but there's a difference in how this world, the decision making class, interacts with melanated people versus others. And so, my thing is, you don't need to convince me that, hey, you're not going to get the same outcomes as other groups. And when I wake up in the morning, I'm not thinking about what other groups got going on. That's a quote. Does a lion wake up thinking about, now what is this jaguar or this tiger in the Asian jungle got going on? He's thinking about, I have this pride, I have these cubs, I got these lioness. I need to secure this space. I need to make sure that these lionesses and cubs can get the resources they need to get to the next day to maintain the continuity of this pride, of this tribe. We have all we need, family, and truth be told, all we're going to get is what we have. And so the degree that we're wanting to contribute, whatever small thing, like I said, bro, I got my seed bank. I don't have an $8 million seed bank, but I got something. It's a couple of dozens of people, families that could, benefit from my modest seed storage. And if you multiply that times a couple of tens of thousands melanated people strategically spaced across the country, all of these are logistical necessities when we're talking about this food security. And I salute.
And that's what it all boils down to, family, is food security. We talk about, growing your own food and the importance of it. But when at the end of the day, it all shakes down, it all boils down to food security. Not, being able to have food, making sure that you can eat, but also making sure that when you do eat this food, that it will nourish you. Making sure that it is something safe to eat. Burger King just banned 120 artificial ingredients, but they've been feeding it to us for decades. You see what I'm saying? That's not safe food. And think about all the other ingredients that they still have not banned as of yet. And how healthy are those? So food security, although it's a broad term on the surface, is very specific. Food security. We need to make sure that our families are food secure, our communities are food secure, make sure that our food is safe to eat, because at the end of the day, the Most High put this food not only to nourish us, but to make us healthy. And like I said, food is medicine. Food is medicine. But we want to make sure that, we're taking the right medicine.
And we have a choice.
Yes. So this is a great talk today. It's getting weird, y'all. It's getting weird out here. But what this means is that we have to be more aware, more vigilant and more intentful with what we do, what we think about, and how we plan our days, day to day, month to month, decade to decade. Can y'all feel me? So Farmer Brown, we talked about a lot. And we encourage people to grow their own food in their backyard or on their porch or in their home or on their in their greenhouse, in their milk crate. We even say grow your food in your Jordan. But if you really want to know something, what does the family need to do, bro?
There's no business like grow business. Oh no. If you really want to know something, let's learn how to grow something.
And everybody give Farmer Brown, the MC, a happy birthday. This is my brother, man. He's been my brother for 25 years, man. Been through a lot of ups and downs. I mean, we done been to the mountaintop and to the bottom of the doggone hog slop trough. You know what I'm saying? Sleeping on floors, to opening mansion doors, bro. You know, we done did it all, bro. Happy birthday. And, you know, this is a journey we started 25 years ago, and hopefully we got more than 25 more to go. So we salute you for all you do. This brother he has given so much of his life force and energy to other people, put it into a lot of children, cultivated a lot of minds of kids, and he's just a real special bro. And I'm glad to have met you, and you know, it's probably one of the best things about me making my trek through Kentucky, bro. You know, I'm glad I can call you a friend, man, straight up.
I appreciate
So
that, bro.
everybody, Farmer Brian MC, happy birthday. You know what I'm saying? Stevie Wonder style. You know what I'm saying? And B1AG family, we're going to keep bringing you this content. Believe it or not, this little old channel, they scared of us. They're scared of what we talk about. But we're going to bring you the truth. And we're going to bring it in a very real way. And we're going to make sure that the information that we do bring you is going to help. That's all we're trying to do is bring you truthful information that will help and enhance life. Because at the end of the day, B1AG is about life and living. So everybody, let's get your grow on. Until next time we see you. Peace out.